My name is Ginsberg. I'm the president of EVB. We're an ad agency built for the digital consumer. And as president, it feels like mostly I do janitorial work. Everything that can be Uberized ultimately will be Uberized. But, there is a joke that we always hear, when companies look for valuation, it's the Uber of X or the Uber of Y. But I think, underneath that kind of just throwaway statement, there is something really interesting about the idea of these aggregated services and new ways of intersecting with consumers. I think it's going to have a pretty profound shift in the nature of work and certainly consumer expectation, and those are the two biggest things in our lives these days. So this is a pretty big deal. I think the most profound impact that this on-demand economy has had on the consumer is a change in expectation. For the most part, there's this now notion of immediacy, and that has really changed how consumers kind of intersect and interact with the world of services. It started, of course, with in many ways with Uber, although there were predecessors to that. But what it's done is given the sense that anything is available at any time for a given price. And that has certainly profoundly altered how people go and experience and live in the world. The idea of this free agent economy is one that's been bandied around for quite some time. But someone at this conference was actually talking about this idea of an algorithm filling an employee's prospective whole day with on-demand services. So maybe you drive Uber in the morning and then you go and clean someone's house in the midday and then go and walk their dog at the end of the day. But if you think about that anecdote, you're seeing a change in the nature of work. And what I think is interesting about this is, on one level, the stability might be gone, but on the other level, full-time employment is no guarantee of stability in this day and age in any case. I think time is probably the most valuable thing that people have, and how they choose to see it and their agency over their own time is something that's actually pretty profound. In this freelance economy, or this free agent economy if you prefer, the onus is then on the employee to skill, right? Then it becomes a question of how do you rate and rank those skills, and how can those skills be evaluated when they're put out there into the marketplace. So it's again really changed and upended the very idea of kind of skill development. But like everything these days, everything's been outsourced back to its point of origin, which is typically either the consumer or the free agent themselves. Well, agencies have always had a portion of their workforce as variable, as freelancers, and typically, and interestingly, those freelancers earn a lot of money in the agency world. Where it now becomes interesting is that distances are closed and time is different. So we now look at a freelancer pool that extends beyond our geographical boundaries, and that's a relatively new thing in the agency landscape. But it certainly had an impact on our access to talent and the costs that we'll pay, or the amount that we'll pay for that talent.